Ladies and gentlemen, all rise for the RankKing's court.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest spectacle that glances your internet, phone, TV, wherever you're streaming this from, that screen. On Tuesday nights at 6:30 p.m. specifically. We are back. It is the RankKing's court. I am the Rank King himself, Austin Moorhead, joined as always by my two loving companions, the Oracle Vo and Noble Knight Greg. We are here to grant your pleasures tonight for some groove and wonder. I'm excited and back that the show is back. How we doing, guys? After a nice iced coffee, I feel like I do a little jiggy. But yeah, vacation was good. Vacation was good though. Not long enough. Always, I'm back here, in gloriful PA. Gloriful. Not even a word. I know, Greg. Doesn't matter. But I'm not the only one back, because not only we have the three of us here tonight, we have a special guest joined for tonight's episode. Everyone, please give a big round of applause to my buddy, the one and only Sam Metcalf. Sam, welcome to the show at RankKing's court.
How's it going, folks? Happy to be here with you.
Sam, we never talked in college, I think, ever, and that's bad. That's bad on my part. I will admit I am terrible. I'm just an awful. But ever since I graduated, Sam and I have had multiple occasions where we've talked straight music. As an occasion, I think we were at our one buddy's bachelor party, I want to say. Yeah. And Sam came along, and I found out from that day that Sam was, like me, is a huge Gavin fan. And I swear, Sam, we must have talked for 2 hours straight. It felt like that.
It was good. We got done with paintball and everything. Everyone was chilling at the crib afterwards for some video games. And we just started talking music, shared playlists, Spotify. It was great.
It was a quote unquote, as I always love to compare them, it was a straight good vibe. I don't think that any songs that they have come out with have ever felt like a bad vibe. They've always just been straight, quote unquote, rip bangers, straight bangers. One good old John Mess. We do have one person in the studio with us, though, that does really not listen to them. I don't know if it's I don't like it because it's a thing that people do kind of thing, but I'm going to let you know. But Greg's a hard one to get into this group. And I'm hoping that after today's episode with the three of us, because I know the three of us do listen to them, that we can finally maybe convince Greg to get his head out of his ass. I don't want to do that because like I wanted to so bad last week from when we did 2020 because I apparently submitted Kid Cudi and thought that was one of his newer songs, and I found out it was from 2015. So, well, I didn't think I honestly, genuinely in my heart, I thought it was a new song. I genuinely did, but apparently it's not because I was very. Yeah, that's why it said 2022. So, yeah, that's why I said 2022. I said, okay, fine. But yep, we're there we go. 2 weeks off, and I still got it, boys. Although I say leave the segues to me. I might do that a little bit better. That's all I'm saying. But, if you're looking for big hits, lazy.
I'm surprised you don't have the
Gout by now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It is the
Probably
king's.
have some.
It's the king's disease, man. So hey.
That's true. I mean, the amount of alcohol I consumed from vacation, it's probably destroyed my liver at some point. So.
It'll eventually work its way down to the
Probably.
foot. So yeah.
And I guess the whole start of the show couldn't hear it because the settings changed again.
Are you serious?
I guess.
Oh, damn it. Oh well.
Start from the top, Austin.
Do we have to?
Welcome.
Oh, jeez.
Can you hear us now, everybody? Let us know in the comments.
Man.
That'd be very, very spectacular for us to hear.
Spectacular. Yeah, I love it. I love it. You're just you're just a wordsmith all of a sudden. I love it.
I am, dude. Throwing them left and right. As our guys in the chat, we have Gary Yoder. Yoder, welcome, man. Let's go. Knew you were going to be in here for this. Yee. Yee. Let's go.
And you have Miss Morgan, the biggest,
the
biggest Dance Gavin Dance fan.
That is Miss Morgan, Marie. Welcome.
Wow,
again.
bigger than Austin. That's
yeah.
Okay.
I would say so.
It's interesting. I'll just say the least.
Yeah.
But Sam and I, like I said, we're very in tune with this group. As Bo, we opened his eyes finally to the promised land, and hopefully we can do the same for Greg. It's gonna take a little bit, but I'm sure if we go down that road to the mothership, we will hopefully lead his way home, Sam. Hopefully. I saw it in there.
That was good.
Heard just Austin at first. That's what she said. Okay, well, that's all you need to hear anyway. So, I mean, that's
that's true. It is your
You
show.
probably changed the settings on us.
I changed the setting.
Mm-hmm.
So you silent us so we can't make fun of your rankings or anything.
Bad pun. I know, Yoder. I apologize. You got to get your dad jokes in somewhere. But I don't got my White Sox, and they don't have,
I mean,
white
you are kind of dressed like a dad currently, just saying. So.
Hey, anyone who knows DGD, I got to wear the shirt, but they are very, floral, groovy type of thing. But enough of me jabbering on about things. We got a show to do, boys. I'm very, very excited. But before we do, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Radical ranking number 1. Let's hit it. Guys, let us get into it for the second DGD episode of the RankKing's Court. The first radical ranking we're going to talk about should be a bit conversational, I would say, for some. But at the top things that I like about Dance Gavin Dance, what draws me to listen to this group more than anything else. And, Sam, you can put your opinions in here because I know that we're both in this together, man, with this. Whether it's the music and everything, I don't want to say too much because then I'm going to get into it, and I'm not even into it yet. But let's get into it.
He's getting worked up.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, the last few shows we've done, he's gotten very worked up and very hostile. You know what?
How were you on vacation? Were you worked up or you relaxed?
Dude, I was relaxed. Now I got all this pent up aggression. I don't even think.
Where do you get pent up aggression from? Like, there should be nothing that gets you this angry. I mean, a cat in your house, yes, I would understand, but aside from that, not much else should make you angry.
I think I'm chill as a cucumber. I'm just very energetic. I think that's the right term of it.
Yeah, rewatch the Madden ratings episode and call that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Gary Yoder said, "Get him as an inhaler."
That's true. You know, some people will say that, you know, it's menthol flavor. Shut up. You're all idiots. We'll move on. Okay. Top things I love about DGD. We're going to hit number 5. And it's a very recent one. And it's their mascot. Gavin, the mechanical bull himself. One thing that I was saying when I first started listening to this group, the one question was, where did they get this name from? Like Dance, Gavin, Dance. Like, who the hell is Gavin? It made no sense. I've always pondered into like the lore of all they had, and I never could find it. And it wasn't until Afterburner, like not this latest album, but the album before that dropped, that they finally announced that Gavin was the name of this giant godlike mechanical bull. And I said, wow, that's so freaking dope. Like, I love that. I mean, like, what group has just a god or a deity that they just pray down to or some shit? Don't answer that, Christian bands. You don't know what you're talking about. But it is a very, very interesting aspect for this. I mean, Sam, did you ever I mean, I know you pondered that question. Like, what was the name of why would they name this? Like, who was Gavin? And did it finally like bring a little bit more to light when you found out it was a giant mechanical bull god?
I don't know that was quite the answer that I was looking for, but definitely did some deep dives on like the old MySpace days and everything to see if you could dig up anything from the past and find something about it. But no, it's cool to have something that's finally there and put a face to the name.
You don't think it's like a sellout thing, right? I feel like a lot of times when groups get questions like these, it's finally revealed and then they just ride the wave of momentum. I think for them, they were like, what's the weirdest fucking thing that we can like use for this and like put it in? So it's a giant mechanical bull god that like has a bunch of parademons around it. I love it.
I just
it's
thought,
a sick album cover.
Oh yeah.
I just thought Dance Gavin Dance was like they were playing a show and there was a kid named Gavin that just started dancing.
You're like,
oh,
hey.
There we go. That's our band name.
Dude, there's a point in time where you know, when we discuss names of future children, whatever that will come, I was like talking to Brie, I was like, I don't know if I maybe want one of my kids to be named Gavin, like 100%.
What was her response?
Probably
not well received, I'm guessing.
Let me take it from the great words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, you are one stupid son of a bitch.
It's not a bad name,
what
though.
it felt like.
It's not
I
a
felt
bad
attacked when I said it, but yeah, no, I love the aspect of it, man. It's interesting that they finally have something to that, and I love it genuinely, but not as much as I love number 4, because it ties in with number 4. And number 4 for me is 100% their album artworks. It is 100% a giant F you to all the Where's Waldo drawings that I've ever seen in my life, because there's so much happening in every single one of these album artworks that you kind of dive in and it makes its own little journey on its own. I mean, let's take it, for instance, from the last album of the Afterburner, where Gavin is just sitting on his throne and you like look at all these different like demons that are just around, like one's biting the neck of another one. The other one's just like putting like green stuff on somebody. It makes no sense, but I genuinely love it. Then you go to like an album artwork like Happiness, where it's just a single guy in a rowboat in a very like dry pool with all these different animals around it. It makes no sense, but it's colorful and it's unique. And also, everyone's like, anytime something like big pops up like that, everyone's like, is this the new Dance Gavin Dance album artwork? Like, what's going on here? Like honestly, Sam, how do you feel about these? Because I genuinely look forward to seeing these album artworks when they get dropped. And, you know, we'll talk about one a little bit later. It's up there. It's up there. It's amazing. But what's your feelings on it, man? How do you feel about it?
I just think it's great to see. I found the artist himself that always gets commissioned for the album covers. He's on Instagram and he posts all the time, not just the stuff that he does for them. Some great stuff there. And even as far as whenever the singles were dropping, the little banana guy riding some sort of motorcycle, like it's always interesting. There's some cool stuff going on.
You might see that later, just out there. But
So did he do all the albums then? The same guy?
I
Or most
believe
of them?
Royal Ocean may have been different, but I think after that it was always him.
Oh, nice.
yeah,
I was gonna say, because I mean, like, just looking at it, you can tell, you can kind of see the theme with it, or kind of like the similarities with all of them. Like, there's just a lot going on. It very colorful, very bright, and it is kind of cool because like there's certain bands, like off the top of my head, that you'll like come across and it'll just be random shit all the time that's just thrown out there. But at least at this one, there's at least consistency with it.
For sure.
yeah.
And I really
I don't-
appreciate the singles artwork that he did. I don't want to step on Austin's toes, but two of the singles, Headhunter and Blood Wolf, they come together to create one cohesive image still. I just thought that was super neat. They're always pulling out something cool.
Yeah, I originally, when I was listening to them, I had those two songs back to back on my Spotify, and I said, "Wait a minute, like that's the left, that's the right." I said, "Oh my god, that's freaking amazing!" And I never even thought of that, and it's incredible. But yes, Headhunter. I mean, both those songs are just beautiful in general. I'm not gonna get too much into it because we got a lot to discuss here.
But
Moving on
before
Oh, before
Morgan said John did the early ones,
Gotcha.
John did the early ones.
the early artwork.
Yoder also said left shark gang. Gang, 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 left shark gang. Let's go. Love you guys. Whatever I say is Royal Ocean. Yeah, that's what Morgan said. Number 3, a big part of what even got me into this group in the first place. The robot lore. I love these music videos that are put out. And even like the songs that don't have these music videos along with them, there are songs where it's the robot with human hair, the robot with human hair part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, death of the robot with human hair, son of robot. There's so much that goes into all of this, and they even drop a comic lore that goes along with all of like the robot and what he goes through. Basically, I mean, one of my personal favorites, it's very old. It's probably one of the first ones that they did with it. But Death of the Robot with Human Hair is incredible because it explains, his death before even going back into the beginning. He like takes all these like animals living on this utopian world and that are afraid of like cybernetic enhancements. And he takes them, essentially a play on Noah's Ark, and takes them all the way to another planet and ends up dying in the process of it. But he legitimately, to fight off these giant robots, he like puts this power source in him and he grows this massive freaking beard and human like bulky ass Macho Man Randy Savage arms that'll like, ooh, snap into a Slim Jim any day, dang it. Like, it's just fantastic. It's one of the things that I love where it's like almost the album artwork. It's creativity that you don't expect from a group, especially something that doesn't even revolve around music a lot of the times. Like something was so popular in their music that it developed into something more, into storybook and comics. And to that, I think it's incredible. I mean, Sam, is there a particular robot song that you enjoy the most? And if so, and maybe if not, is there a specific music video that you enjoyed with some element of the robot theme and lore?
I think the title not the title track, the first song off of Mothership, the robot is very prevalent in that music video. I think the favorite music video, I'm not even sure if the robot's in it, but it was one of the first ones that I saw, and it was for Stroke Odd Millionaire. I think that was one of the first singles that came out for Instant Gratification. Yeah, their music videos, you hit the nail on the head. They're always got something cool going on. Good to see the new stuff.
Half them just like I enjoyed for the fact, and I didn't realize it until I dove a little deeper, that Midnight Crusade actually like has John being used as a robot. And I said, oh my God, it's the father of the robot from the son of like, oh my God. I said, it's John. It's freaking John. Like it has to be John. John is the robot with human hair. It makes so much sense. But yeah, he like acts like a cyborg that malfunctions in that music video, and it's hilarious because he like malfunctions because of like toothpaste streamer or some shit. It's so funny. You guys have to check that out. But the robot lore is very prevalent in these music videos, in these songs. But let's get down to the nitty freaking gritty, people. What's the situation? And it's this. Number 2. And it's post-hardcore gets groovy, man. This is the main reason, which I love the photo.
You like the picture.
That was funny.
I love the concept of this group more than anything else. A lot of times people believe that it's just a bunch of mishmash that's mixed together, and kind of like a Red Hot Chili Peppers where they couldn't figure out the name of the band. So they just threw darts at words until it came up with something. I'm not sure if that's that or the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. It might be one of those two. Don't quote me on either of them. But they thought that the music concept of them was just throwing stuff until it stuck. And that's what I thought originally too, because I said they're doing things that bands would have never even thought of doing. You know, we see all the time with 2 vocalists, there's always one clean and one, you know, for the music industry, it's Vox, you know, ones that like scream instead of just saying it's a screamer. You like you say cleans and Vox. But the guitar work in this band is virtually unheard of. It's the greatest guitar playing, I think, in a band that just simplifies it. Like it takes the elements of groove and puts them in a post-hardcore setting, and it makes you vibe along to the music where you would never do that before. I mean, Sam, speak on it a little bit, because like I feel like I'm running in circles with this, but I know you're more on tune with the music since you play music with it. So how does it feel for you? Like with the whole groove mixed with the post-hardcore, it obviously works, but why does it work, Sam? What makes it tick in our brains?
One of the big conversations that I had with a coworker, shouts out to the ones that'll listen to your weird ass music suggestions and actually run with it with you. Dance Gavin Dance has this methodology of like digging from different buckets, and it's always like within the same song that they can pull out those different feelings to them. So the groove feeling is one of them, getting floaty with it and feeling almost ethereal sort of vibe to it. And then they always get down groovy and heavy too. So I think the groove portion of that is one of the super important buckets, because there's memes about it. The Spider-Man walk, like this is how you feel when you're listening to that groovy stuff from Dance Gavin Dance. Like it's just important to it. So I think the way that they're able to meld those different feels and pull from all those different buckets in one song and still have it feel cohesive and take you on a little journey in 4 or 5 minutes or whatever. I think that's one of the things that they do so well, and what does draw me as a musician to them, and appreciating what they have going on and the fact that they're able to make it all meld together.
Yeah, you know, obviously, you know, we'll be very professional about this, but there has been a lot of stuff that's gone on with this band, obviously, in the last couple of months and everything. It's tough because I want them to obviously stay successful and keep doing what they're doing, you know, regardless of outcomes outsiding of the band. But, you know, for those that know, you know, it's a lot of people originally were like, no, we're done. Like, just have them break up. And I told that to Sam. It was actually on my 21st.
21st birthday.
Jeez.
Way.
You ain't that young.
Way back ago. My birthday. That we met in Cranberry at the Bamboo Bar. And I said, well, what did they expect them to do? Like, they expect them to break up? Like,
Yeah.
that's childish. That's stupid. And it shows that they've been through 1, 2, 3 vocalists. And they've officially, this, quote me if I'm right, Sam, but officially, this is their 10th album release. Because whatever I say is Royal Ocean was an EP. But it's their 10th official album, I don't know, since 2005. Like, so they just crank out music. Like, outside is the outside. The music is there, and the music slaps diggity dong, man. Like, it's just amazing.
To hit on your point about the hardcore gets groovy, like I mentioned it earlier, when I first listened to them, like it just seemed chaotic. I didn't know what was happening in the song, the lyrics, everything. But once I saw them live, I appreciated what they did. So I started listening to them more, like on my own.
That's like that with a
before, it was
lot of
like
bands.
Morgan would play it, and I'd listen. But now it's like I'll put it on myself and listen to some Dance Gavin Dance. So I appreciate the grooviness, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the one thing that separates, because a lot of people, they kind of, I want to say they poster board it, but they make Dance Gavin Dance the poster child of the post-hardcore era, right? Of like what post-hardcore is supposed to be. And I honestly can't think of another band aside from one that pulls from, as Sam said, so many buckets, puts it in a jigsaw puzzle that's not supposed to fit, but it fits and it works. And honestly, the only other one I can think of is associated with them too in some sort of way, and that's Bill Murray, where a lot of like electronic measurements are completed in post-hardcore with things like the Taco Bell noise in the background and saxophones being played and a weird country guitar solo in a breakdown that freaking works.
Did you ever? I told you to listen to this band before, but they're called
Yes,
Shrezzers.
I love Shrezzers Noodles.
Yeah,
I played that song when I was on vacation, and I just was like,
yeah, they just throw the random sax in there and just get you. Have you checked them out at all?
I've not.
Look them up. They're pretty good.
I would say Shrezzers. Yeah, I also, Bo, I remember showing you. Oh wow, no, this is gonna hate me. I have them up here. In here, Cliff Diver. They're another one that I enjoy. More or less the Midwestern emo pop punk style of it, but they do as well have a saxophone player that just vibes and plays what he wants to play, and it's dope. It all works. And so does this group. And we still have one reason left, and that reason is simply this. It's John freaking Mess. It's John Mess. John Mess makes this group for me. He is one of the, I don't even know. I mean all this in a very positive light. He is one of the strangest human beings that I have ever heard, seen, whatever. He is a strange individual. The lyrics that he has don't make sense whatsoever. We actually did, Sam, if you tuned into our first Dance Gavin Dance episode, one of our radical rankings was the top John Mess lyrics.
Yep.
And I showed them that, and they were like, that's not real, right? Like, that's a joke. And I said, nope. Riding a rhino, Pico de Gallo, makes no sense, but we put it in her. Like, it's beautiful. Like, I describe it all the time as, you know, whoever the singer eventually will be. It's very like, you know, sex on the beach, champagne, vibing, you know, you just had you got a promotion at your work, you're vibing, and then John comes in, literally punches you in the face, snorts coke off your chest, and just rides off into the sunset and drags you with him on this journey. That is what I tell people about this band, and they give me so many weird looks, but I promise you, if you listen to them, it makes so much sense. It does.
Have you seen the Target commercial with him in it?
Yes. It's just like, sorry, I had to get all my copies of Jackpot T-shirt.
He goes in the Target and just gets all their albums and just like scoops them up, puts them in the cart.
He's like buying like random shit. He's like, oh, I need milk, I need this, and he literally takes all of the new CDs and just throws them in there. He's like, get yours now before I buy them all. And I'm like,
That's hilarious.
What I love that, a lot of groups do this too, but like they do their vinyls in various colors and aspects. And I wanted this so bad, and I went to check on like the first notice that when they dropped, but they were all sold out.
We got one.
The vinyls were literal poker chips.
No, not.
They were giant poker chips. And I said, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want it. I can't have it. It's sold out.
I'm sure you can find someone who will sell it for twice the amount that it was going for. But
I don't want to do that, though. Why would I do that?
I mean, you just said you wanted.
You had to pre-order it. If you're a fan, you would have pre-ordered it.
I know. Believe me. Well, we'll see what fans get you. I just got a Spotify notice when I was on vacation that, hey, the 1975 is coming back to your area. I went into the waiting room, and I was in there for 2 minutes, and it said, there's limited seating. Are you sure you want to still do this? And I said, sure. And I go in there. There are 2 seats.
For the 1975? Really? Damn.
For people, their last show, we had tickets to, Bree and I, and it got canceled because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
So these are all those people I'm imagining that wanted to see. But, I mean, it's only at RMU's stadium.
Oh, okay.
So it's
That
not
makes
very
sense.
big. But still, it was the first time in my buying ticket history that I was in the waiting room and they were basically sold out while I was in the waiting room. 2 minutes, not even a minute, 2 minutes after the pre-sale started. I couldn't even believe it. But yes, John friggin' Mess, an absolute god tier human being. I say it all the time when people say, who's your spirit animal? John Mess is my spirit animal. I will take that to my grave. So things that we know we have to take to our grave but don't are the second radical ranking coming to you now. And we're live, and your poke, and a point, and a do, because you went like this instead of doing like this.
Same thing.
No,
It's a
Go
point.
like this.
Same, but
I'll
different.
start pointing
Let's
like
get
this.
into it.
Yeah,
You want me to point like this?
yeah, do the fandango, yeah.
Sam, I promise you, we're all not on drugs. Like we are all.
We're all normal.
Well,
You guys aren't?
Whoa. Whoa. I want to jump into this a little bit and explain exactly what the hell this is. So the Radical Ranking 2 are the top Swancore bands, and everyone's probably at home going, Austin, what the hell is Swancore?
No, I'm at Union Fitness Studios asking that same question.
Are you're asking that same question? For those that don't know, I'm going to put it out. Swancore, and I'm reading it off the label so I don't mess anything up for all of you listening.
where exactly is this label like that you're getting
The
this from?
label is on Google,
Okay.
but it is from I'm going to just put it this way. The guitarist of Dance Gavin Dance, Will Swan, has his own record label.
Okay.
No, it's Blue Swan Records.
Okay.
And this term comes from that record label.
All right.
The label coined the term Swancore, referring to the dynamic and technical playing style, which is the characteristics of the band on its roster. So basically, Swancore is essentially like, if you know, maybe Josh would know this a little bit more. I'm not saying you guys, like, aside from, us here, but it's like post-hardcore meets math rock and like post and screams and all these type of things. And it's a lot of guitar work. It's a lot of guitar work. It's a lot of tapping. It's a lot of finding sounds that you generally wouldn't hear, like, ever. I mean, ever. And they come together in one single thing. What I love about this is that most Swancore bands that I'm going to be listing, at least one of the members has been or is still in Dance Gavin Dance.
Oh,
So
it's like a side
they're
project, basically.
well, it's hard to say because they're so good. They're not technically they shouldn't be called side projects.
Mm.
But if you're gonna go that way, I say some of them would be side projects.
I mean,
But
I would count it. I mean, like for instance, like the story so far, their lead singer, he's also a lead singer of kind of a heavier band called No Pressure.
well, for instance, I'm gonna give one here that's not on the list. Because I think this one would have been cheating if I did this. But essentially, there is a group that has every single member of Dance Gavin Dance except the former lead singer Tillian Pearson, and that is Secret Band. It is John, Tim, Will, Matt, and I technically now Andrew. So it would have all of them, but it just wouldn't have Tillian. And it's all like just John on the vocals, and I would say like Secret Band is a lot of like if you shove glass down your throat and then you try to deep throat the microphone with those shards of glass like still in your throat. It's hardcore. Like it is some of the weirdest, hardest music I've ever seen in my life. It's very fun though. I will jump around, and I mean for like the pitch of the one scream goes, it sounds like some like just scratched a record, but it's incredible. But let's get into the first of the Swancore bands. One that comes to us from Chico, California.
Chico.
In 2009 was formed. And it's essentially known as Hail the Sun. I like this band a lot. Wasn't really like a big person of their music originally until I like found out that they were Swancore, and I was like, okay, well, I'll give them more of a chance now. I love a lot of the album Wake, which was in 2014. Again, just a lot of guitar work, a lot of progressives. It's kind of like new age with this kind of math rock. Like and obviously I'm not going into too much detail because I don't they're not my number one. They're just my number 5. I think they're okay. And it stems from that. I mean, Sam, did you know Hail the Sun? Like, I'm assuming when you shook your head, you were like, maybe, it's fine.
Yeah, I was introduced to them. They went on tour with Polyphia. I think it was in 2017 or 2018 whenever I saw them. They were still doing the New Levels, New Devils tour.
Okay.
Hail the Sun came along with them for that, and they were pretty rad. They were good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I again, check out all these groups too. I have a Swancore playlist that has 100 songs of Swancore. I will, I'll see if I can throw in somewhere that for all of you to listen to because I enjoy it so much. And I'm very proud of it. But yeah, Hail the Sun at number 5. Let's hit number 4. One that you actually know a little bit about, Sam. And I never thought I would hear a song ever about this category, but we're going to get into it. Number 4. And that is Pulses. I enjoy Pulses a lot. Ever since I heard the song Juice, and I said, is this literally what I think it is? And the music video itself is absolutely hilarious. They took different shots of themselves and then modified the camera angle into one big shot. And then they multiplied their bodies around from those shots into one setting. So it looked like they were actually at their own concert that they were playing live.
That's pretty cool, actually.
It's creative.
It is. But the one song is literally all about drinking juice. It is absolutely hysterical. There is a part of the song that breaks into very guitar melodic in the background, and it's one of the most awkward conversations I've ever heard. And it's just like, hey, do you like pineapple juice? I love pineapple juice. And he's like, word. Do you like apple juice? Apple juice is cool. Okay. Do you like orange juice? And she goes, I don't really like orange juice. Oh, well, we can go back to pineapple juice then. And she goes, that'd be pretty cool. And he's like, cool. And then it just breaks down again. Like,
So it's like the music stopped during that part there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just brought back up again. It's one of the most interesting things. I mean, the chorus of it is aqua, berry, cherry, like it's so funny. I love these guys so much. There's a whole bunch of different songs by them too. I'll make sure that I get them their love here. Where's my Swan Core playlist? It's somewhere.
Louisiana Purchase is a big one for me.
Yeah, Louisiana. That's right. So Louisiana Purchase is a good one. Where's another one? It's in here. Music's hard to read sometimes. Yeah. I think that might be no. The Message is Clear. That's another one that I really like. That can't be the only other one I have in here.
Big Mood.
Yeah.
You gotta add the period. That's
Good
what I had.
Vibes Only.
Yeah. That's so for some reason I don't know why I thought Pineapple Bride was by them, but it's by Anne Maria. So I don't know why I thought it was them, but it's still anything with fruit. I just assume it's by Pulses. But yes,
That's fair. Fair to assume.
I encourage you guys to check it out, especially like I Drink Juice. That's I love that song so much. Number 3 is when we start getting into when different members have been in different places, and I consider them a Swan Core band. I really do. A lot of people might not, but number 3 for me is Idola. Andrew Wells, the singer of this group, is now Sam. I don't know. Is he technically the lead singer now? I don't think so. He's just filling in bubbles where they need to be filled in at this point. But basically, Andrew was on most of the last album of Afterburner, but they didn't give him credit for it because it's more of they didn't know what he was doing kind of thing. And they finally gave him the credit in this. They finally made him a member of the band, which got them back up to 5 members. Or 6 members. I don't know if I'm right. Something with a number, but he was their rhythm guitarist and backing vocals. And we'll get into it, but wow, what a difference. Like, does it make having him on the new album? But he was a singer of Idola, and I saw them. This is the one, though, that you missed when you were late to the show. They were one of the groups that went on before you got there. And
okay.
the singer of that group is now the backing vocals and guitarist of Dance Gavin Dance. He's very, very good. I like him a lot. Sam, is there anything in particular about Idola that you actually like really love, aside from different things, or like is it just okay for you?
They're pretty just okay for me. Homies back in college were definitely trying to put me onto them. They didn't have the same sort of sparkle that Dance brings for me, but they're definitely solid.
Yeah, I mean, like no band, in my honest opinion, is ever going to have the same sparkle as DGD does, but I get it. I really do.
Clearly.
Number 2, possibly I think Sam's favorite of the Swan Core bands. I personally really love this group, and that's Wolf and Bear. I love Wolf and Bear a lot. Sadly, the member that was involved with Wolf and Bear has passed. It is Tim Freer, the bassist. I believe the story went that, they were trying to be a DGD cover band, and Tim listened to their music, and he was like, yeah, do you guys need a bass player? Like, I'll play bass for you. You guys rock. And that's how it went. And they ended up getting put into Blue Swan Records, and man, they are good. Like, I love every single thing about this group. I think I even wrote a blog about them at some point. You can check that out at thoughtsfromthebench.com under our blogs. But there are so many. Twisted Tongues, Gray Blood,
Street Rat.
Yeah, Street Rat's good. I have some other ones that I really like. Gray Blood. Delito was the first song I ever heard by Wolf and Bear. And then, my absolute favorite is 100% Sight. That was in their early days, and it almost looks like a pool show, but without the pool. You know how you'd have your local bands play at pools around your community or whatever. They're like, hey, we're raising money for this, but we also want to play music and pizza and live. And like, it took me back to those days for that music video. But I personally, I want to see where they're going, because they were supposed to play on some sort of tour with somebody, and they ended up dropping out, I believe. And Royal Coda, I think, took their place, which, funny enough, we go to number one, and it is my favorite of all time. That is Royal Coda. And it should be no reason why they are my favorite. They have Kurt Travis, who I absolutely love as a vocalist. He's probably the grooviest singer that Dance Gavin Dance has ever had.
Huh. Okay.
And you also have Will Swan on guitar in this band. And, their other guitarist is phenomenal too. Both their guitar players in this group are amazing. And funny enough, Royal Coda just dropped a new album. So I encourage you all, please go listen to it. It is fantastic. I love Royal Coda so much. My favorite song, obviously, I can't put too much on the new stuff yet. I got to dive more into it. But my favorite song is definitely Numbing Agent. I will play that song into the ends of the earth until my ears are basically numb from the numbing agent that is surrounding my body. Cut Me Under is another good one. Trying to more Swan Core.
I thought you didn't like Kurt Travis when we did the last Dance Gavin Dance.
No, I said that there's a time and a place for certain DGD singers to come around. Travis was definitely the grooviest and he was only in for 2 albums. He was in for the self-titled, and he was in for Happiness. And there's a time and a place for certain individuals. Like Johnny Craig had the OG sound, and then Kurt made it funky and groovy. And then Tillian came in and made it funky and groovy, but keeping it high-pitched. And I will tell you this, when the whole issues of news broke out, people were clamoring to bring back Kurt Travis. They were like, let's get the one guy that didn't fuck up anything that we tossed aside and finally put him back into the band. I love Kurt. I love his single stuff too, like what he does like on his own. I think that a lot of his stuff there was good. I'm trying to, as I'm talking, The Innocence Of, that's probably the one I was thinking of that was really, really good. Numbing Agent, again, Ruby Leaf, that's the other one, Ruby Leaf. I absolutely love Royal Coda. I love Wolf and Bear. I love all of these Swancore groups. I mean, Sam, how do you feel about Royal Coda? Because I know that, for me, I know I'm getting a little bit of that DGD vibe because Will's there. And Kurt has been there before. So you got 2 guys that are professional behind that. Not saying the other guys aren't, but you have that groove sound that we've missed so long. It's finally there. How do you feel about it?
Well, I do want to throw in too, I believe the bass player from Royal Coda is who has been filling in for Tim as well. Is he not?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So there's that. Royal Coda is a band, again, never did a huge deep dive into them. I know that I should, especially with the appreciation for Will Swan. But also with Kurt at the front, if you haven't heard the Eternity Forever EP, one of my favorite songs that's like a one-off, nothing else is like it, is Fantasy. And Kurt's vocals on there I appreciate him there more than I have in any of his work for Dance Gavin Dance, just because it's that top-notch. But as far as Royal Coda goes, I definitely need to take a deeper look.
I would, man. I mean, they're really, really good. I will say that Kurt did a song during quarantine with some people. I want to see if I can find it on here, because it's definitely on here.
Well, awesome. While you look for that, do any of these bands ever open for Dance Gavin Dance?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
do they?
They have on multiple occasions. In fact, I think because Dance Gavin Dance was originally supposed to open for Coheed and Cambria, Well, with
Yeah.
all the issues going on, they decided to drop out and make their own tour that was going on, and Royal Coda opened up for Dance Gavin Dance on that tour. It's like a
Okay.
tour with friends, I think that's what it was called. But the song is called Multiverse Part 2, and it has Andres, Kurt Travis, and Donovan Malero. And it's funny because it's all about quarantine and something about crusty socks on the floor and beer bottles on the floor and just terrible, terrible COVID times. And I think it's hilarious. But yeah, I suggest all of you check those bands out. If I had to say two in particular, it's got to be Royal Coda and Wolf and Bear. They're the ones, I think, in my honest opinion, that maybe have opened up for Dance Gavin Dance before the most. I mean, because of BGD, I got to listen to them. I got to listen to bands like Don Broco, who I never, ever would have listened to if I didn't know, if they didn't open for Dance Gavin Dance. They were phenomenal at the one Pittsburgh showing that I went to. So check them out too.
What was the band that they just did the instrumentals? Do you remember?
Covet.
Okay.
Covet.
They were good at what they did, but that's just not my
It's
like,
not
cup
your-
of tea.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I vibed the whole time. I mean, like, I and my friends, we were just like dancing around and shit. I'm
Yeah.
like,
This is
He
becoming
didn't
the
have, he
episode.
didn't have any friends there. It was
Yeah,
just him doing that.
this is
by
becoming
himself.
this is becoming the episode where he is showing off his dance moves. I could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a vacation.
It's
still in
it's
'em.
vacation
see what I deal
mode
with, Sam? You see what I deal with? You disrespect me.
every week.
every week.
Disrespect. All right, well, let's get into a very special segment of the show. Personally, my favorite. It's time for the great debate. Now, there is no right answer to this, but I'm just genuinely curious because we all kind of have the same music taste with a differential swing that's thrown in there. The great debate is simply as follows. Who would you want to open up for Dance Gavin Dance? Now, this is one single band. This would be the band before Dance Gavin Dance goes on stage. What band, in your honest opinion, should open up for them? I don't know if Brian Project's in the chat. He's probably not.
I actually texted him. I was like, "Give me an order. We have a guest," but no answer yet.
Go.
So if Sam wants to go first, since he's the guest, I think that's fair.
Maybe Sam doesn't want to go first.
Yeah, that's.
We'll let Sam pick
Your
the
thought of
order.
that?
I like that.
about-
Let's have Sam pick
Yeah,
the order.
Sam will pick the order.
Jeez,
A lot of
All right.
pressure on you.
A lot of pressure. We understand.
it is. That is. We'll go Greg since he's the
All right,
first
cool.
new lover of the band, right?
Ah! Yeah.
He's getting there.
Right. We'll go. I'm so sorry, I forget your name.
Austin.
Yeah.
Austin. Okay. We'll go
You
Austin
bet.
after that to get the outsider perspective as someone that isn't as into Dance Gavin Dance.
Right. Yeah.
No, my name's
Then
Vo.
I'll bring up number 3. That way, Rank King can bring it on him for us.
Got you. All right, so it's Greg, Vo, Sam, me. Okay.
He said guest Austin, Vo, Greg, but we'll go.
Well, we're
we'll go
going with the
Sam's
other one.
order.
Yeah, we already came up with that.
I'll tell him too late.
Yeah, and plus it works better because it just goes like back way. It goes like the reverse
Yeah.
order of
Yeah,
like
that's
how
fair.
the screen's set up. Okay. I think so. This is like openers are always kind of tricky with me because you got to have someone that I feel like kind of leads in perfectly to the next group. Like it's someone that like gets the crowd excited, but also like still gives you like enough room to be able to go forward. Like the worst opener I've ever seen in my life was the time we went to A Day to Remember at Stage A indoors, and in between Wage War and A Day to Remember was Moose Blood. Moose Blood was one of the worst openers that I could have ever picked for that show because all they did was just like bring everyone down.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want in A Day to Remember show at all. So I'm thinking for Dance Gavin Dance. So this is what sucks. The one that I would have definitely picked would have been We Came as Romans, but I'm not going to do that because obviously RIP on that one. But I'm going to say Chunk No Captain Chunk.
Oh, that would be so interesting.
Yeah.
Greg, I checked out Bitter. I liked Bitter a lot.
Wait, is that the
Um,
only song from them that you know?
No. I had I had other ones that are in my playlist. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But
Okay.
I listened to them. A Restart was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I like Restart. I like whatever the one. Hey dudes, are you ready to?
That's what
I
I
like-
mean. That's what I mean. You need a band.
They're a fun time.
They are. You need a band that kind of like gets you excited, but it's not one that's gonna like suck all the energy out of you and stuff like that. Because you need that like nice little buffer in between to get it going. Like I know you didn't care for them, but when I saw Day to Remember, like I thought Beartooth was a great opener for them because it got like the energy I needed from them.
Did you guys
Terrible
pause
live.
for a
No.
second?
Terrible.
Bullshit.
Terrible live.
Bullshit.
Second time I saw him.
Bullshit. Beartooth is good live.
I'm not a fan of him live.
Mm.
I like
Pause
the
for
song.
effect because I didn't know if you guys knew. He might have told you, but I'm walking out of the apartment of my beach house that I'm at,
Okay.
and Sam texts me. He's like, at the show, walking in on the right, and I go, "What the hell are you talking about?"
He's expecting
And
you.
he's
He's
like-
expecting you to be there.
He's like, "I thought you guys were doing this instead of streaming," and I said, "God damn it!" I said,
He was the only one.
"Yes, I am not there, but those two idiots are there."
Yes.
So I had to chuckle at that so hard. Because you were talking about a day to remember and everything. And I thought maybe, I don't know, Sam, you like Beartooth? How did you like the concert? Do you enjoy it?
No, it was solid for sure. Love seeing Beartooth. Saw them once before as well. Wage War was with them at that show. First time with the Day
Wage
to
War is
Remember,
good
it
live
was-
too.
I like Wage War, yeah.
Mhm.
for sure. But no, it was definitely a six show.
Good. Yeah, I just had to throw it in there. I'm sorry. Like, whoever
You
was in
should
it.
have been there with us.
Shut up, dude. I was catching waves. Oh,
I was catching waves too. I was the one that was helping crowd surfers. So yeah.
He was.
wrong waves. Instead, I just
He
got
was way
soft.
up there.
Mm-hmm.
I got soft from the water. You got soft from the sweaty people.
Yeah, my
Oh.
neck was sore for 3 days. Don't get old.
See, we stayed back and then we went up for a Day to Remember.
Didn't go up.
Not all the way up, but we were down in the pit.
Barely.
We were there.
All right.
Mm.
All right, we're getting off topic. Vote. Who
Yes.
would you want to open for Dance Gavin Dance?
So we mentioned Shrezzers earlier, but I'm not going
Mhm.
to go with them. But I think that they would be fun to see as an opener. But my pick would be Rain City Drive
So,
because I'm
this is
a huge
interesting
fan of
because
that band.
You just put that on for the Music League.
I
You
did.
know, shout out to the Music League for Thoughts on the Bench. We rhyme on it every single day. We love it.
Greg cheats.
No, I don't. I do not cheat. Calm down.
Stop! You're gonna make them upset. Stop it.
Yeah. I already got into enough. I already got in enough of it with
saw that.
with Deke, and he annoys the fuck out of me.
I know. I just had to bring it up.
Yeah, thanks.
But yeah, Rain City Drive, they have the perfect mix of heavy songs, some slow, so they'll get the crowd like feeling it, get those groovy vibes you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it. I'm trying to because I
And
A
they're
little
they're
bit
not like a
maybe-
huge band, so like they're perfect to open.
Right.
Yeah.
right. You know what's weird is that like bands that were super popular back in the day are like now the first openers. Do you have any idea how freaking big or the Devil Wears Prada was
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in like middle school for me? You know, early in right when Greg was in diapers probably, but like in middle school for me, like now they're like the first openers. Like they were the first openers on that St. Patrick's Day, A Day to Remember show.
When you were in
Can't-
diapers, but he was in middle school.
Like, you want to
Say that again?
Yeah, you want to run
No,
that
'cause
back,
Greg's
bud?
old as shit, but it's all right.
Yeah, but you're saying you were in middle school
And
he
I was
in
in diapers.
Yeah, like, oh, that is reversed, isn't it?
Jesus Christ, bud.
You mean the other,
Ah, I
you mean the
mean,
other way?
His brain's
Yeah.
not functioning well.
Take 2 weeks off. And,
Yeah,
wow.
clearly.
Hey, a lot can happen in 2 weeks, man. Woohoo! It's crazy. Yeah, that was supposed to be the other one. If I'm gonna be honest, I know it's not gonna make sense, but I think Ice Nine Kills should open for Dance Gavin Dance. I know that it's a horror-filled genre of metalcore that already gets so much love for the people that enjoy that style of music.
Yeah.
enjoy that cinematography, enjoy the set play, that it would carry beautifully into Dance Gavin Dance. I just watched a video like literally yesterday, a guy that said of the cringiest metalcore bands, and like Ice Nine Kills was like very cringy. And I said, shut up, nerd. I enjoy my horror music at all. Love it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take that and shove it. But I think that Ice Nine Kills would be perfect. I know that a lot of people think they might be on the same level popularity wise as each other.
Yeah.
But I could see them combining in like a dual tour. I think that would be very phenomenal to see.
That would be.
But I'm just curious as to what would happen, because if there's one thing that Dance Gavin Dance prides itself on, it's chaos. So having all the chaos and the triumph of horror metalcore behind them, I think it would be fantastic. And then we get Sam.
Gotcha. So I think we already did a lot of talking with Dance Gavin Dance being huge in the guitar work. That's one of the big reasons that they're probably on the face of the planet. Different band, different style, but genuinely as impressive guitar work. Polyphia. I'm sure you've seen Tim Henson on TikTok. He's doing his thing. Their sound isn't nearly as chaotic. A lot of it is pretty vibey, a lot of chill stuff, but even with that display of skill. But then some of their other songs like Champagne stuff off of that album did get your blood flowing pretty good. I think they would do a great job opening for them.
Yeah.
And I think they have in the past, so that might be a biased pick anyways, but it was probably a kick-ass show.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look back in the day. Yoder says Pierce the Veil. That's an interesting one.
Greg loves Pierce the Veil.
Shoot me.
That's who's what I prevail.
Really?
Yeah.
Shoot me again.
Jesus. We have another commenter that says, "Where's Denny? He's gambling his life away. Unfortunately, he's not able to be because he's not on this show."
I would stick around to hear Circles, and then I would peace out. That's it. Circles is the only song I like from Pierce the Veil.
I like a lot of. I'm not gonna throw it on, but if it comes on, I'll listen to it. I like We Like It Loud by Pierce the Veil. I think that's a good one. There's a lot of Pierce the Veil that, like, if it comes on, I'm not going to change it. Bull like Bronx or something. I think that's what it's called.
King for a Day.
King for a Day.
That's
That's
a good
one. Like Currents. Also, Yoder says Currents would be sick. I'm going to throw it out there, Bo, and maybe I should have picked this one too, but I think that Electric Callboy would be dope at a Dance Gavin Dance concert.
Would be entertaining, for sure.
A German metalcore band that does weird shit with all their outfits and everything would be perfect.
Yeah.
But
Memphis Mayfire opened up for them in Cleveland.
Oh,
they were. I liked seeing them.
That'd be good, actually.
Austin doesn't like them.
Why?
I don't know. Just judging by his reaction.
Morris Morgan says "Fools in the Bronx." That's what the song was. I appreciate that. Thank you. I love that song. And you know what I love more than anything? Sometimes I need to take a break. The show needs to take a break. So what we're gonna do?
He needs to use
go
the
use
bathroom.
the pisser. Go drink a beer. Go mow your lawn for like 5 minutes and then come back. Not even. We are about to hit the top 10.
It's like an hour to mow my lawn. Jeez.
So I said take 5 minutes. We are going to hit the top 10 of our ranking for tonight. Stay tuned. It's going to be spectacular.
Let's dive right into sports, as I have strong opinions on that. Which college team could beat a professional team in the same sport right now?
Okay.
There is not a single answer that is better than the LSU Tigers defeating the Cincinnati Bengals.
Even if I know the pitch that's coming, every other part of me is still normal.
That's why it's frustrating for me, Greg.
It's like okay, if I know what something is coming, I know ahead of time, I still have to be able to do the action to get the result that I need.
Okay, so they won 3 games in 10 years with 3 rebuilds.
I don't lose at arguments.
Especially about fast food, so yeah.
You will never walk alone. Guess what? Now you will. Coronavirus.
I barely touch my girlfriend's cat. The most I'd be willing to do is like just kind of put my finger on its forehead and just like.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with us is Alex Kazor from Steelers Depot.
We are live with Ryan Smith, professional cornhole player in the ACL. Ryan,
what all franchises were you able to work with in the NHL?
With Phoenix, Carolina, and Detroit.
No.
So here is Moorhead's ranking. Moorhead is my cousin. He is the rank king.
Higher
Top 10 extra Power Rangers.
Oh.
This is the top 10 emo songs of the 2000s.
There's only one correct answer for number one. Why is F is for Family better than Futurama when Futurama is like Star Wars for potheads? Like
I know. So I think
we have one or two that are mad in the chat.
You're welcome for that.
Okay, we're gonna get banned.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Vault, the weekly show from Thoughts from the Bench that takes a look back at some of the best and worst sports jerseys of all time.
So, I looked up what a Canuck was. Ben, you're gonna shit yourself. What a fucking silly country.
Here comes the Crimson Chin.
no. You sound like the John Candy in a fucking snapshot.
That's Uncle Buck.
I have an irrational fear of alligators and crocodiles. I hate them.
What? Of like, okay, this school who looks like they're in High School Musical just came and balled out. So yeah, they're not drinking Gatorade or water on the sidelines. They just got bottles of Barbicide and they're just fucking tanking them down, dude. Like that guy who's gone and said, "Okay, where's the keg at?" You know, like that type of guy.
Yeah.
Like
he's a glue guy. He's a glue guy.
Uga is a glue guy.
I want to show off the human goose that is Mike Lennon.
Oh my god, he is a goose.
They're like mom jeans with the elastic on top. Like, I don't...
I'm okay. I'm okay. He's a man of the people. He's in with the students at games and sporting events. He's posing with the frat boys. He's getting pumped up, literally and metaphorically speaking, for every event. He is Dartmouth.
What?
That was really funny.
Football's the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell.
JJ Watt, bring it on over, pal. Bring it on over. Golgi apparatus, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum. I'm just naming off science shit now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed your little relaxation break. 'Cause we're back, baby! And it's time. It is finally time. Sam, Jackpot Juicer has been out for over 2 weeks. And I'm confident in saying, live on air, it's the best Dance Gavin Dance album. I'm throwing that out there. It's a hot take. Mothership has been my bread and butter baby for so freaking long. There were absolutely no skips on this album for me, like whatsoever. And I don't know if that's the addition of Andrew. I don't know if that's all the weird little intricate things that they tried for this album, but man, it freaking worked. And I will go to my grave saying that. I've had time to listen to it. I wasn't very apart with putting it above Mothership. I wanted to give it another week or so. And I'm comfortable saying it. There's finally an album that's better than Mothership.
Yoder says take it back.
No,
the worst take you've ever had.
That's saying a lot, by the way.
That is a lot.
It is a great album for me. I will say it. I know it's not everyone's hot take, but for me, it's there. Sam, I know that you probably aren't as high on this album as me, but like, what does it do for you? Like, what screams jackpot juicer for you?
I think it's the feeling the entire album brings to you. I think they were a little bit more cohesive on the topics that they discussed throughout some of the lyrics or some of the emotions they try to bring out. And I think if that feeling that they're going for is what tickles you, then for sure that makes sense to me. I was honestly interested in asking what your favorite album leading into this was to see like our different basis points, because I know Gary was much more of a Johnny stan than either of us are. So I definitely understand the lists being different between us, but Mothership is still my favorite. So just interesting to me seeing that we're both coming from the same place but still feeling pretty differently about it. It's still a very good album, but
yeah, it's tough because like a lot of people kind of felt like Afterburner kind of like went in a different direction than what they were thinking that Dance Gavin Dance was going to do. I thought it was now granted, first time listening, I listened to it for like 3 times in a row on the first day that it dropped because it's Dance Gavin Dance and that's what I'm going to do. I thought it was very amazing at first, and then I had to take a couple steps back and realize that some of the stuff's a little weird in it that shouldn't be there. I thought the melodies and stuff were a little odd in takes. Still some very good tracks on there, but I think when I like ranked the albums, I had this like second. It definitely would not be second now. It's probably like fourth, honestly. But at the time, it struck gold with me on a lot of things. And maybe that'll change for this one, but for now, I think there's one album, like I said, Mothership, that's been at the top. I've never, as soon as an album's come out, I've never been, this album beats Mothership. I've never done that until I met this one. I know that it's like, it's very, in my mind, it has a groovier sense than most of the albums do. It's very light, very heavy in different circumstances, but the lightness feeling, it carries you along the way until it finally plummets you into the ground, and you just feel you're overcome with emotion, honestly, a lot of the time during the ending of this album. And I genuinely thought it was incredible. Like I said, no skips, and we're going to get into it because that is all what tonight's top 10 is, people. The top 10 jackpot juicer songs. You guys know how this works. The guest gives his or hers, we don't discriminate here, his or hers, and then I give my 10, 9, 9, 8, 8, so on and so forth, until we roll the dice and see exactly who had the better list. You will obviously all vote on social media, and you will let me know, depending on how your opinions are, they're most likely wrong, but I will still listen. That's all the point about being a king, people.
He always loses, Sam.
A lot, actually.
A lot of the time.
A lot. It's very comical, actually.
It's stupid. Let's get into it though. Number 10, Sam, of Jackpot Juicer. What do we got?
My number 10 pick, speaking of the end of the album, not quite the end, Swallowed by Eternity. It's the second to the last one.
Yeah.
First listen, my impression wasn't that great on it, and that's because it is a different feel. I think I pinpointed it, though. We were talking about them before. If Secret Band released a song with clean vocals, this would be it.
This would be it, yeah.
I think the slow intro that has the spooky vibe to it and then builds into the more aggressive portions following, the whole song embodies anxiety to me. If you're listening to it in the wrong sort of headspace, you're not going to come out with a good time. But I think with that said, and having the strong vocal performance from Andrew on this one, even though I didn't like it a ton at first, I think it's one that definitely deserved to be on the list as one of the newer directions that they were going as Dance Gavin Dance, even if it's a lot like Secret Band. But I thought it was a great pick for rounding out the bottom of the list.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. My number 10 I'm going to get into, I thought it was, I heard the one part of it and I said, oh, daddy, Bring it on to me. Let's go. Let's go. And
Dan.
for me, number 10 is Polka Dot Dobbins. I love this song. It pours in hard with John's like aggressive, like just at the very, very beginning. And I said, whoa, I'm not ready for this just yet. And then it just glides into almost like you're like in a space of nothingness. And then Tillian comes in, probably the honestly some of the nicest wordplay. It's like, says she was your favorite, then she'd go and fuck somebody else. That chick is danger. Something. I can't.
You were so happy as you were doing that, by the way. Just like
Dude,
it was like you were walking along, just like, you know, happy walk, as saying she fucked someone else.
That's honestly what I felt though. Like the first time I ever listened to that part, I'm just like, oh, that's nice. Oh, like
That is
touching it the right way. I'm like, oh man, like bring it. Polka Dot Dobbins for me. It's one that I like to feel is on maybe some level of maybe the sense of like, say, Afterburner for parody catharsis. It kind of feels in the same retrospect of the feel and the way and how the vocals transpire with each other. I personally very much enjoy it. Had a couple more listens to all the other songs, realized it probably wasn't in the top 5, maybe not even top 8, so I had to put it at 10 as a soft space for now. We'll say that. But for me, 10 is Polka Dot Dobbins. We move on to Sam's number 9.
My number 9 was Holy Ghost Spirit. Sorry, getting to some notes up here. This was another one.
We appreciate it. So,
dude, I took some great ones last night, I swear.
I love it.
For Holy Ghost Spirit, that was another one that it wasn't a favorite for sure, and I still don't think it is a favorite. But again, I think the top tracks that really tickle my fancy on this album are the top, like 0 questions asked, and the rest of it was figuring out what I liked about portions of songs. On this one, they hit the floaty feel on this one really good. The ethereal sort of like getting out there, feeling good about everything. I really thought that the instrumentals during the verses could have came off of a song off of Instant Gratification, and I never would have guessed the second. I thought it was a really good callback kind of feel to it, just bringing it all home. And then the outro before the outro. So I think it gets real heavy with John Mess, and then it goes lighter with some sort of like radio kind of static with Tillian cleans behind it. The Mess vocals with Tillian sailing up in the highs right behind it. It's a really good moment. It's just really good feel.
So Holy Ghost Spirit for me, like I love it, but I feel like it was honestly made, and this is not a hate on your take at any such
great. No worries.
I know. Believe me, I always gotta throw it out there. I honestly felt like it probably was the most basic of the Dance Gavin Dance songs on this album, personally, and his video cut.
Oh no!
Hate to see that.
Oh no! See, I didn't even say it. He already quit.
Yeah.
You hate to see it.
Well, Morgan says that should be higher.
I'm assuming that's the one that he put. So Holy Ghost Spirit. So
Yeah.
we'll wait until hopefully Sam gets back in here and. But I don't know. How are you guys enjoying the show so far? You guys in the
I just love the fact that he was. I just love the fact that he was so angry by your comment on it that he just completely signed off.
I think that's
Damn.
the first time you made someone quit.
I know, and he was a friend too.
Yeah, it's weird. As we get into some more comments here, I'll read it. Sam is connecting to audio. Sam is trying to get back in here, but
yeah,
Morgan says that Ryan Jacobs is my Ghost Spirit. Holy Ghost Spirit, and
Jacobs.
Sam.
Oh, look, now he's the king.
Readjust. I love it.
There he is. He's back. We thought you got mad at Austin's take.
Which for the record, we can understand it because he pisses off a lot of people from time to time. It's okay.
No, it's storming in the area. Sorry about that.
I get you. I will say, Sam, I thought it was more basic Dance Gavin Dance songs that I've heard, and it kind of, when you said it felt like instant gratification, that's where like the basicness of it felt. Like, in no sense that Basic is negative in any way, but it felt like it was a track for that. So it's no hate on that one. I personally really enjoyed it the first time I listened to it. And then I looked back and I said, okay. I mean, like, yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Let's see what your number nine is.
Yeah, well, my number 9, as my cat, which my girlfriend is supposed to be taking care of, but she's not taking care of you, is she? No, you're out here with me.
I wouldn't even give her attention, but that's just me.
Hey, don't discriminate. It is a he.
Oh, hi, Cat.
I said
nice to meet you.
Miss Shore Greg. It is a he. Look at you, you're doing this stupid little thing. You know it's you. But my number 9 is one that we talked about already, and it's Swallowed by Eternity. There's nothing more that I felt like I felt a great uneasiness with it. And I felt, you said this, you felt like it's an anxiety race. I felt like I'm falling, but I know eventually I'll land and I'll survive kind of feeling. Like, that's where I got from it, because all I heard was, it's a miracle that I got this far. And I said, oh shit, what is happening? What's going on here? And it honestly gave me vibes of Man of the Year. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, of that sense of like, we're starting off very slow, and it's just an absolute massacre of John just playing up the ears of the ideologies of what he has in his vocals. And holy God, is it good.
I will admit, when you pull up the lyrics and like read them, if you don't know how the song goes, it's pretty depressing.
Oh yeah. It's not.
Like it says, no one's left to save you. Like, I don't know how that goes in the song because I can't think of this one off the top of my head, but it's kind of sad.
Yeah, well, it depends on how you're looking in though. But all right, number 8, Sam, what do you got?
For number 8, I got Pray to God for Your Mother. The intro for that one, Tillian saying surprise. Big fan of that. I don't know. He has a couple fun moments like that on this album that I really like. This is another one that has that good floaty build into a stronger energy, uplifting chorus. I think Have a Great Life had a lot of that sort of same energy too. I don't have that one anywhere else on the list, so I'll give that a quick shout out. But the intro Moss section, to start into it, there's some small guitar breathers with drums that build back into an interesting vocal back and forth of Tillian with himself. A lot of this album, I like the play that Andrew and Tillian get from each other, but the fact that Tillian was able to make it all work with his own sort of back and forth, obviously recording magic, but still. That with the heavy bouncy intro for the ending, just John Mess. That's enough said.
John Mess being John Mess, man. He's one of a kind. I'll say that. My claws just went into me. Right on the thigh. Okay. Now that's taken care of. My number. It's funny that you said that, dude. My number 8 is Have a Great Life. There's a lot of part about me that thought that Swallowed by Eternity maybe should have been the last track on this album, the way that I looked at it. But I think now that I'm looking at it, Have a Great Life, the main reason, man, the vocal harmonizations of Tillian, Andrew, and John all at the end. Holy shit. Like, it is the three of them just all once. And before that, Andrew belting out a note that I didn't even think Andrew was able to hit, if I'm being 100% honest. The whole song in general, it felt like almost like a closing curtain of a burning down building. I love using that phrase all the time, but the thing of like, we burned the house down, shit, let's hurry up, let's end it, let's get out of here. It felt really good on this with this. And then you just see like the building crumble in your head when the three put their vocal progressions together. And honestly, like, not gonna lie, I may have shed a tear when that happened. So as I said, it sounds so beautiful. And it's like, when you think about all the shit that has been thrown at this album left and right, and all the people that were involved left and right, to hear it end with this in it, it felt beautiful. Like it felt like a very, again, being very professional with Tim, a very wonderful send off.
It was like a pained victory cry.
Yes.
There's like sadness to it, but it's still, we were there, we got the t-shirt, we did our thing. It's good. It's a really good track.
Yeah. I had it a lot higher, and then I said, okay, back it up a little bit. That thing at the end can't be what brings it to the top. So it is number 8 for me, but we have number 7 for you.
For number 7, I have Back on Deck. This was another one that felt like a weird change of pace for Dance Gavin Dance. I feel like this was them trying to structure a song to be accessible to anyone outside of appreciating Dance Gavin Dance already. But they did it in like a way that they didn't actually make it accessible. So I think they failed at it, but it still came out as a really good piece of music. It almost feels like they're trying to be a pop radio banger. The chorus feels like a pop rock sort of just like getting after it. There's nothing crazy Dance Gavin Dance about it, but it's still their sound, so it works out. The bridge was interesting in a good way. The bass part in that almost sounded like an 8-bit sort of sound effect, but just the amount of distortion that they had on it, and it was really neat to listen to. And then again, I guess I love the outros from this album. Andrew coming through, playing really well off Attilian's part. It's just another great one that they're both showing what they're bringing to the table and coming together cohesively to make it happen.
I get it, man. I think this is the part of the song I like that when it's in the very beginning and like in the verses, where it's like that. The feeling of it is like da na na da na na da na na da, like, and like oh that's weird. I like that.
There he goes
like,
again.
Little
dance move.
He is so happy today. Jeez.
I love this album. I will speak on it for the day. Which, by the way, Sam Yoder texted me basically said if I could jump through this TV, I'd fight you. I would. After I said that.
Well,
love you, Yoder, you sack of shit. I love this album.
I'm gonna say, Austin, this is where yours goes downhill.
I don't think so. I think maybe it's because of how low I have this. I like this song, but I think there's better ones out here. Sam, I know you're going to get pissed at me, but I got Synergy at number 7. Right?
Cold take.
Listen, part of me has a thing where I try to separate the singles from the actual album itself. So when this was the first song that came out, I said, oh, yes, please more, Daddy. I want more Dance Gavin Dance. Bring it on. Lather it on me. I want it all. And I felt like I kept listening to it over and over again. It's not the thing that it never gets old, but when you put it with the actual album, like, yes, it is amazing. But I think that it grew on me too fast. I feel like if this came out when the actual album came out, I would have 100% put this in like my top 3. But for now, I mean, I how can he say that too? Because I got the feature of Don Broco, lead singer Don Broco in this song too, who is the Rat King. I love it. However, it is a bold take for me, but I will be putting Synergy at 7. I know.
I don't like it at 7. I feel like it has to be higher than that.
Here's the thing, though. Yoder texts me, but why even list Synergy? Question mark.
I know. He's not a fan of it. He told me he's a hater, but you know what? Opinion's an opinion. Everybody has one, and everyone else's stinks.
That's true. You know, they are buttholes. I get it. I listen, man. I want to like the song. I do like the song, but I feel like there's more out there. Read the other comment. It should be higher. I know that was way back. I'm sorry. Not sorry enough to go on to number 6. What do you got, Sam?
Number 6, I have Die Another Day. This was another one that made me feel like it was calling back to previous structures. It really makes me think of We Own the Night, the way that it's moving through and building up each section, dropping it, and then coming back in almost immediately with, it's not even, it's a really bare bones section of the song. I think it's just guitar and Tillian singing whenever they come back in with that. But the aggression that they have in those parts to just instantly launch into building again and doing it in a really good way. I thought it was really similar to We Own the Night. And for We Own the Night still being their top played song on Spotify and still being one that I love to hate on because it doesn't really do it for me. I think it forces you through that journey that we're talking about of picking through different buckets and making you feel emotions that you can't go into it and think this is how I want to feel and jam out to this song. It's going to tell you what you feel.
Yeah.
But that said, I think having a song that is able to do that, it definitely has something to say.
I have strong feelings about Die Another Day, and we'll get into it in a second. But for my number 6, we had the first single, Synergy, and now we have the second single that was dropped. This is Pop Off. I have it at 6. The journey that we go from Synergy into the first 3 lines in this song being about blue balls, like it's
a good song though.
The one lyric literally just says, "I'm coming everywhere." Like, I cannot make this up. It is amazing.
Can't be more literal. Seriously.
It says ball cupping make you stare.
I had ball cupping make you stare. I'm coming everywhere.
But the real reason why you don't like this song is because you're a cat guy, and this talks about dogs. Dogs digging in the plants and saying that they're your best friend.
I see a connection here.
So that's why you have this low. I'll tell you that much. But Pop Off, it's very interesting how this song builds because it's almost like John taking a hammer, beating you in the head with it over and over again, and then putting ice on it, saying that he's sorry, and then Tillian comes in and then seduces you after you got how many hammer shots to the head. And then it all you just get beat the shit out of, honestly. It's what it feels like.
Interesting.
I love the music video to this song very much because everyone's like, their music videos don't make sense. It's weird. Well, the first one in Synergy, John, who was a Rat King exterminator, they get pulled into this universe of whatever the hell. I'm not sure what. But John goes from being the Rat King as an exterminator to being an actual Rat King that is forcing the other members of the band dressed as fruit to fight each other for his amusement. I think it's hilarious. They're just Matt is like a grape and he's just like beating the shit out of like Tim that's a banana, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I could watch this all day.
It should have been higher then.
Well, that's
just
why.
For that reason.
There's more stuff to come, though. But Pop Off for me, I think Sam can agree with this. It was a little bit of an interesting, tough listen to at first. And then I think it started building more and more as the album progressed, where it was on the album, how it felt. And for me personally, I felt this might have been the weaker of the singles originally that dropped. But we'll see how it goes into. As that was my number 6. And now we get into the top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5. So, Sam, what is your number 5 of the Jackpot Juicer album?
My number 5 is Cream of the Crop. I believe that was another single, was it not? Was that number 4?
It was so this is weird, because I think there were 5 singles released.
Feels Bad Man on YouTube right before the album dropped.
Feels Bad was like the day before the album. And I said, well, 5 being released is way too much. But there are also 18 tracks on this album. So
let's say 17 based on
17 Untitled 2 shouldn't count. Yeah. So 17. Okay. But 5 is way too much, in my honest opinion. But
it was a lot.
This was the 4th. And I mean, go into detail. I'll explain a little bit because I have it on my list somewhere, but I want you to tell me why it's your number 5.
Of course. Getting into the number 5, this was getting into the ones that I really did enjoy from the start. Well, some anyway. The guitar sounds very Will Swan. The tone that he gets from it is the tone that we've come to know and love. His playing style is their distinct sound, and that's what we're getting from it. There's a reason that I like Dance Gavin Dance, and I'm not afraid to say that more of some of the same stuff is extremely welcome. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why. The addition of the strings is likely why it's not higher on my list in the number 5. They did it really well, and I've seen a lot of people talking about how the outro is just this floaty, ethereal, keep going back to that bucket throughout the whole night. But it's just another one that is, I don't know if they did that as well as they could have in this song, but the rest of it just comes together and brings it on.
I love it. I will hit more on it because it is somewhere. My number 5 is one that you've already talked about. That is Die Another Day. Originally, when this song dropped, I said, wow, like the amount of progression from Pop Off to this is unfathomable. I mean, it was amazing. Like, I thought that Tillian's vocals shined on this song in particular so well. And then you have the guitar picking on This Is Beautiful by Andrew and Will. It all just floats together so harmfully. And when I say harmful, I mean in a good harmful. Like you're in a mosh pit, you're getting harmed kind of thing. You know? We wish nothing but good positive energy here at the RankKing's court. But
all the time.
I digress. I will say that I thought originally that Die Another Day, when it came out, was the best of the 3 singles so far. I just thought it was very, very well done. Yeah. And, you know, again, the music video, John coming in as, you know, a rat king that's disguised as a human playing dice and like gambling with the other band members, only to be absolutely destroyed by a giant slot machine at the end. It's just amazing. But yes, Die Another Day, my number 5.
Awesome.
Then,
before you move on, we have a first-time chat commenter if you want to read that comment.
Ooh, first time. I will have to. Hey, Sam, look, he put Die Another Day in his top 5. Imagine that.
Yes. Speaking of the coworker that has listened to me babble on about Dance Gavin Dance, he did indeed show out. So happy to see you, buddy.
I don't know if is that bad that he's saying? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Opinions are opinions. I like that song. Sam, your number 4. What do you have?
My number 4, Feels Bad Man. This one, again, hearing it on YouTube the day before, I did not know how I felt about it upon first listen. It's goofy sort of.
I felt very conflicted.
You both felt bad, man.
It feels bad.
What you did there.
So, yeah, this was one that I think they were also trying to be a little bit more accessible, and I think they executed that better on this track, even though the use of Tillian's clean vocals over the same beat that continues on whenever John Mess starts to scream with very little change up in between. I thought that was a very interesting choice of how to do that. But at the same time, I think that's why it sounded like such a different direction for them to me. And it came out in a really good way for me. I think it was definitely one of those ones that you have to warm up to, but once you start to, it's just a good one for you to keep listening to. Mess killing the screams as always. Throughout the whole song, it felt like there's this sludging forward momentum that just doesn't really stop. I think there might have been some like swing to the hi-hat or something like that on this one that made it feel that way. I'm not so sure. But Mess coming in on his chorus makes things whenever Mess comes in on his chorus, it made me think of the music video from, it was a song on Afterburner. It's whenever he pops out the airplane window.
Strawberry's Wake, yeah.
Exactly. The way that he just comes in super heavy with it, like excited sounding scream vocal. It was a good callback. I really liked that moment, and I was glad to see something similar on this one.
That is. Miss Morgan believes Feels Bad Man is a banger. It is.
Her favorite.
Funny enough, Yoder really liked Strawberry's Wake for when I showed him it. He didn't know what to feel about it originally, and then because, being that he's a Johnny Craig boy, he never really got into the whole Tillian era or the Kurt Travis era, but when he just pops out of that hangar, which I'm like watching the video in the first time, and I said, they're all sleeping in a plane, but one person literally has a toilet seat wrapped around their neck. You just have to watch for this little shit that is thrown in there. But John, again, a spirit animal in his own right. I love the man. He just brings excited energy to a scream that shouldn't sound exciting, if that makes any sense. We'll move on to my number 4, and it is Macho. Oh, the Macho Man's coming back with it's the top of the cream of the crop. Cream of the crop, number 4.
That was good. That was very good.
Love it. I loved Cream of the Crop very, very much. And maybe it also plays into a little bit of Untitled 2 being the first track, and then it slides ever so slightly into Cream of the Crop. I thought the start of that made Cream of the Crop that much better. I know it's not even part of the song, but it made it that much better. But it almost felt like Cream of the Crop could have been on Mothership, like 100%, and nobody would have batted an eye. That's how strongly I feel about this track, the Cream of the Crop. I felt like, again, when all these songs being released, I said, do we really need another song? But I said, where is this going to put on the, because I don't look at any of the album where the songs are going to get placed at all before the album comes out. I think that's cheating on my part, because then I have a certain opinion of it. But when it's the second track, I said, wow, this song friggin' slaps. And it rocks. I love the correspondence between John and Tillian in this track. I think it's very, very well done. And again, has enough beats to make me feel like it could be on Mothership. So, Cream of the Crop at number 4. We get into the top 3. Yeah.
Dig it. Top 3, number 3. I have Pop Off. I know you already talked about it, but a lot of the things that you were touching on for reasons that you enjoy it were the reasons that I really think that I'm coming to like it too. And that was a big distinction too, that we have the same feeling on. Whenever I heard it as a single, did not come through as something that I thought that I was really going to enjoy. Whenever I thought about it in the sense of seeing it at a live show though, the fact of how they go back and forth between John Mess just beating at you and everything, and then having the pauses in between, just thinking about the pit for that, being able to mosh around, run into people, stop, hands around shoulders, just feel the vibes with each other, and then go right back through to it, seeing all the lights going off and everything for it. I think that would be an excellent show to see live. And I did watch on YouTube, there's a 55-minute video of this most recent tour, and they have been playing it. So would love to see it. Yeah, I think that's about it.
I'll add one thing to this. I think it starts off as a giant circle mosh pit for John's part, and then as soon as Tillian's part comes on, everyone locks arms like this in a circle and goes kumbaya around the thing. Exactly. And then as soon as John comes in again, you just stab your partner. I feel like that's what I get from that track. So very, very cool chaos. Love it. My number 3 is very conflicted because, again, when I first heard this, I said, but it is, in my opinion, the best of the singles released, and that's Feels Bad Man. I didn't know how I felt about this, but not only I believe it is the grooviest song on this entire freaking album, but John kills it on this. Like, it doesn't feel like there's any, and I mean this in a positive way, it does not feel like there is any effort in his screaming on this. Like, he's not pushing himself to this. It just a straight line of, are we going to get a heartbeat? No. Punch. Are we going to get a heartbeat? No. Punch. Stay the down. I told you, stay down. Stay down.
Jeez.
It feels amazing. I know that sounds so weird to say, but
awesome.
I'm
going to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah, dude, please do, since you've already interrupted. Go ahead. Yeah, sure. What's up?
There's one line in this song that stood out to me. Do you have any idea what it is?
Something I maybe it's being calcified, but I don't know.
No, it's. Did you realize that all this time your crown was just a hat?
Get fucked.
That's freaking hilarious.
That's amazing.
So this song's about you. That's why you like it.
Sam, if I'm going to be completely honest, I felt this song was going to tie into like the certain tracks that Dance Gavin Dance throws out, where it's almost like a stalkerish feel. Blood Wolf did that. Well, in a good way, like the feeling of the videos. Blood Wolf did that. Sure.
What was the? I think it was it was a Italian song. It was Until Then I'll Watch You Sleep, something like that. Can't wait until the day we meet. Until then I'll watch you sleep.
Yeah,
that's where I went as soon as you said the stalker vibes.
Yeah,
looking back at that,
it's tough. the video vibes for it. So,
okay,
what's the? Oh, that's not on Afterburner. It's on it's on Artificial Selection. Thank you, Count Basie. Like I felt like it was like that. I thought it was like again Blood Wolf. I thought it was on the lines of Summertime Gladness. Like the video and feel of it felt like that, where like you're just at a pool party, you jam, and then all these people just start fucking dying. You don't know why. You're just like, oh, the shit is going on here. But I thought originally the way that the effects and everything were going, like it was very drainy and grainy and everything. I said, "Ooh, they're gonna continue with this thing, is it?" Because I haven't gotten a song like one of those since Blood Wolf, where like they're like tying newspaper articles together and all this weird shit. Like, I digress. It's amazing. I love it. I wish that lore would continue, just like continuing this ranking, because we're at number 2. What do you have, sir?
I have For the Jeers. This one, hearing Andrew coming into the band, every time he starts into lyrics on this song, it makes me fall in love with his voice all over again. John Mass doing his thing. Sorry, not John Mass. Will Swan doing his thing with the laser-like guitar effects. It sounds like phaser guns going off, sort of thing.
Pew, pew.
Exactly. That's one of their buckets they're pulling from on this one. They have the funky forward bounce on a couple of different sections too. Another one of those walking, dancing sort of things. The chorus here absolutely bangs with Andrew and Tillian bouncing back and forth on each other. Tim's bass lines going crazy with the funk even during the chorus. And the bass guitar is present throughout the whole song.
Yeah.
Something that I feel like does get lost behind Will Swan from time to time. But the fact that it's so forward here was really awesome to hear. The bridge with Andrew and Tillian bringing solid distorted vocals. I know Afterburner, I think, was one of the first times that I noticed he was doing some distorted vocals as well.
Yeah.
Hearing that come back here in a really good way. And again, it's just the bounce back and forth between the different feelings, the buckets, and just Andrew. Honestly, Andrew is what makes this track for me. It's new, it's fresh, and that's why it's number 2 on this spot.
It's almost a look to the future. This is the only time I think that we've agreed, because number 2 for me is For the Jeers. And I will say, though, I had to wrestle with this not being number 1 for a good bit, honestly. Because when I heard it, it felt like you've been... Now, again, this is nothing on DGD. They make very prominent, very different music every single time. But there is a pattern, and once you find it, you kind of get settled in it. And it felt like this track feel like you've been like coasting along in like a desert for like how long? And it's like, it's not painful. It's just there. But then you somehow fall into an ice bath. That's what this is. This is that ice bath. For the Jeers felt, like you said, so fresh, so new. And I've never heard a backing vocalist more on a song than in this one. With it just, and I've heard that like Andrew had such a huge influence in this song, especially this one. And he had a big influence in Die Another Day, which is why that one sounded so different than all the other singles. And maybe this is a pattern that I can very much get into later. I think that it's perfect. I whatever they're gonna do, they should do it. But hearing Andrew excel, Tillian, what he does, Will on the guitar, honestly, Matt's drumming never stopping in this freaking song. I love this song for the Cheers at number 2. And now it's finally time. It is our number 1. What is your number 1 song off of the album, Sam?
As much as it pains me to call out the first single that we got, Synergy is indeed my number 1. Again, I like Dance Gavin Dance for a reason. Their stereotypical sound that is brought from album to album, the feels between the different buckets, I think that's something they do really well on this. From the rapid fire guitar picking buildups that are almost like lemon meringue tie, to the funky shit that we've been talking about all night, even to the heavy head banging with like a halftime feel, clear on to the floaty ending that taps out with staccato band hits underneath Tillian singing over top of it. It's just everything that I love about Dance Gavin Dance is all put into this song. And on top of that, and if you haven't picked it out until now, go back and listen to it. John Mess absolutely spits fire during, I think it's the second distorted vocals that he does. Yeah. Whenever I heard him singing that, I literally paused it, moved back 10 seconds, listened to it again, looked up the lyrics, did it again. It's incredible. That moment was just cream of the crop for me.
I found... the first time I listened to it, I think in like my prep period at work, and I'm like looking at something, and then I hear it, and I go,
"Did that just happen?"
Again? I like, oh, what?
It's so good. So good.
It felt like it. I mean, it was like a. I'm like, whoa, that's so fucking cool. Like, I love it. Man, I do. I hate that I had to put it at 7. But
that's what I'm saying. You should have had it higher than that.
Shut up, nerd.
If you love it so much.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
As Synergy states, there's no synergy here at Thoughts on the Bench. That's all I'm saying. So, we get into my personal favorite. One that might feel like it transpires a little bit to Afterburners. 1 in a Million. Maybe I felt like this is the song that felt that it was a lot. And wow, man, for me, that is Ember. I truly love this song. There's a lot that I enjoy about it, but mostly is the fact of, if you didn't think Tillian's range could get any wider, holy shit, does he come and just smack you in the face with it? Because wow. I never thought that this song, I mean, like, I was a big fan of 1 in a Million when it played. I thought that was the best track off the Afterburner album. And it almost felt like an honestly continuous wave into choppier waters in Ember, and comes out again. It's almost like a little bit of Rainbow Road and continuation for it. I love it. I loved how it felt like we were kind of on a journey on itself. Like, almost like a whitewater raft kind of feeling. Like you feel like it's gonna go up a hill, it's gonna be nice, and then you're like, shit, there's no land, and just fall straight forward into it. I honestly don't know much else to say about it. It is, in my opinion, when I listened to it, I kind of like the double take I had to do with John. This one I had to do with Tillian, because I said, wow, like I I didn't think that was humanly possible. And I think what made it even better is at the end of the chorus where it was going originally like da, 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 and then it just slowed instead of getting higher at the end of the chorus. It almost felt like you're going down a roller coaster and you think it's gonna like jolt and it doesn't. You just slowly glide in. That's where I felt with this, and I thought that for a title song like Ember, I could be on hot ember coals and love this song straight on my body.
This is one, like, when I saw your list, like, I was like, I don't remember that one.
This was the one after For the Jeers. So a lot of the time it gets lost in For the Jeers, but I was listening to it because I listened to this album a lot when I was not only on vacation, but the drive there and back, because it was 10.5 hours. So whenever she would sleep, I would like play this song and I would just do my, reptile brain of analyzing everything and trying to figure everything out. And it came through to me that Ember, for me, it would not probably be everyone's number one, but it's 100% my number one. So.
And these are your top 10.
It went very back and forth between that and For the Jeers. And I think since they were like right back to back on the album, I was like, all right, let's just do it. Let's just put it on. So.
For the Jeers says ranking in it.
Does it really?
It does.
It does.
Should have as number one for that reason.
Wow. Should have.
That's biased.
That's literally the entire show, bud.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
But again, we'll put these on social and you will all voice your opinions as to see who had the better list. I thought there was an incredible amount of discussion between both of us, Sam. If I'm going to be honest, I thought I was going to be the only one that had notes. I'm glad you had notes because it didn't make me feel like much of a nerd. So
I had notes too.
Shut up. You did not have notes.
You want to see them?
It was stuff he was writing down during the show, in fairness.
No, and Morgan sent me stuff yesterday.
Did that say, I love Austin, the Rank King, I suck? Is that what it said? I think that's what it said.
Definitely
All right, and there we go.
Yoder said Sam with a dub, and I agree. Sam, your top 5 would be my top 5.
Let's go.
Different order, but same 5.
Again, listen, we'll have to put it up against. There's a whole DGD crew that I'm friends with that they enjoy the music just as much as I do. So I know they're gonna freak when I put this list in there between us, and they're gonna be like, "Well, they both have such great picks. Like it's gonna be hard."
Greg,
but
you have to listen to one song. Which one would it be?
I have no idea. I'm guessing Synergy probably just because it's the lead single, but that's about it.
Give it a try.
Yay, Greg.
What? That's literally like that's basically the only bias I'm going
up.
For.
Says rest in spaghetti, Austin. Well, as long as it's mom's spaghetti, I'll be happy with that. So.
You gotta go to Detroit for that.
That's very true. Sam, I can't thank you enough for jumping on the show. I knew we've talked about doing this for so long, and it finally came into fruition. I think since that event at the bachelor party, we're like, "Well, you're gonna come on the show." I'm like, "Oh yeah, what do you do? Oh, you talk about this? Oh, we could totally talk about music." I was like, we felt like two girls at a sleepover. We're like, "Oh my god, let's talk about music."
Aww. So that's like you every day, basically.
It is just without the long hair and boobies. I don't know. So we get into Solid.
All right.
How dare you?
He's losing his mind. It's been a long episode.
Yeah.
It has. So right now, we do every guest. You may have some, you may not, Sam. But for like the next couple of minutes, if you have to plug anything that you do, what you do in life, what you do, I will give that to you now. He's shaking his head. No, I'm a boring person, Austin. I don't do it. I drum. That's what it is.
Yeah, are you in a band?
Not in a band. Recently got some recording equipment though.
Nice.
One of the main homies that I used to jam with, he ended up moving to, I think it's North Carolina for work. So kind of lose out on that with other people, but having a way to do some stuff myself, put something together, it's always a good time.
Yeah. Austin was in a band once.
Was in, yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. That's why I said, hit me up, man. Let's make a project.
I was gonna say I have comments on my Instagram that was Austin reaching out saying, "Let's get this going." So
let's get this going. Hey, I'll have to text you separately after this. See how far away you are from me. Because I've been wanting to do like a Gavin dance cover thing for like so freaking long.
Listen, I'm not that good.
We'll get there. Just as much as everyone else gets there with the show. We appreciate this. Is episode 92 on our frame. We are looking again to hit that 100 mark. Thank you for everyone to watch. That is Miss Morgan. I say it first this time so you don't get mad at me. We had Yoder in the chat as always. We get Didoko for that one comment. Appreciate that, my man. Kevin Meister, I believe that it is. Appreciate you. And all the other ones that comment along with the show. You guys make the show what it is, and we appreciate you so much for it. Again, anything else to discuss? Probably not. Again, all things are going to be on social for you to vote. And everyone has a happy, happy day. And
Sam wins.
Okay,
that's the last comment of the show.
Everyone's thing in the chat. All right. Get it, people. But let's give it a chance. That would be great. I am the Rank King, Austin Moorhead. Sam, again, thank you so much for being on. Appreciate you, brother. I know that you enjoy talking about this stuff as much as I do, and we will both be blue in the face if we keep going any further. And Greg will be like, I want to go home. So, so again, thank you to all that watched, listened, tuned in, and thank you to Sam for being on and being such a great guest and dealing with the chaos that comes along with this profession. So, Gavel Greg.
Gavel Greg.
Gavel Greg. Court will be adjourned.
Court is adjourned.